look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear.
What it is, what it do, how you be. Welcome back to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest Podcast. We want to thank y'all for joining us yet again. In case it's your first time joining us, we are usually four brothers, but one couldn't make it today. And we are joined by another Marcus, but never to replace the one that we got, right? And we come together to talk about an array of subjects, to converse, convene, and really, help each other figure out this thing called life with perspectives outside of our own. And no matter where the conversation goes, no matter how passive or heated it may be, we always approach every conversation being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest. So to give the introduction today, because this is the homie of Brother A-Dub, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Aaron to introduce today's guest.
All right. Yeah, kick it to the sous chef. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, we do got a special one today. I actually got a little list of things here. He's a friend, of course, first and foremost. He also is a coworker of mine who knows what it's like to be overworked and underpaid. Don't we all know how that feels? Hope that overtime is coming in nice for you too. My man has 2 Spike Lee movies to his name. Right. All right. And, he's a public figure on Instagram, aren't you?
Yep.
All right.
That's what it say.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll go with that. He's
whatever
followed by
that
the
means.
Hey man, hold on. He's followed by the real Uno on Instagram, and they actually respond to his DMs. Y'all DM back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm. We talked.
All right.
It's true.
Verified account. All right. So on Watch the Throne album, Kanye and Jay-Z got a song called Otis. At some point in the song, Kanye pulls up in the other bands. Today we got the other Marcus.
I was like, where is this going?
Yeah, right. I'm just throwing it out. That's just not doing it in my notes. I just went with it.
I was like, do you know Kanye? Like,
I don't think he knows Spike Lee either, but it shit is so good.
Got the credit though. Right.
I'm in the city. I'm in the city. He shot a couple of movies at, so maybe
Yes, sir. I might be able to actually hook that up because my girl knows his daughter, at least one of his daughters.
No, dope.
Might be able to hook that up. All right. Most importantly, my man is a connoisseur of many things, and I have a list. First and foremost, pussy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
This is true.
All right.
They have seen evidence. You see the evidence.
Yeah. Second on the list, and actually last but not least, Uno cards, ladies and gentlemen. We have so pussy and Uno cards.
That's the gander right there.
That is
like
thing.
You're looking at the spectrum of things to be a connoisseur in.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you can make some money off that someday.
Hey,
look, we got the verified Uno connoisseur on the show today. How the fuck are you, homie? It's
I'm
good
doing
to have
pretty
you.
good, y'all. It's good to be
Insert
here.
applause.
I just had that right.
Yeah. We got to.
Yes,
It was about time. I forgot to say this man is a long time listener. I want to if I did say, I want to reiterate that again. This dude has been on it. He's one of our day ones.
Yo,
man.
man.
Let y'all know.
We appreciate it.
He introduced me to it, and the next week I started it with the yo. I was in. I listened to that first episode.
Yes.
You guys had me laughing. I was like, I'm here for it. And
Yo, man.
To make it to like episode, I want to say this is 41, correct?
42.
42?
Yeah,
42, episode 42. And I'm here. It's really good to be here. My name is Marcus Albert. I know it's Antonio Lake, but I'm Marcus Albert, but you can call me
They
Marcus.
can't see that.
But yes, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm the Uno connoisseur, and I do have different Uno cards. These are Angry Bird Uno cards. And there's different type of Angry Birds on here.
Dope.
Different designs, that one right there. You use that one. You get to have someone to draw 4 cards. It's,
That's a wild card.
Green.
Okay.
The little special card. So But yeah,
Yo, my
that's
man,
one
tell the
deck
folks
out of
how
one
many
deck.
you got.
How many
Total.
decks you on?
Last time I checked, it was 80. I have Giant Uno, Mini Uno. I have Angry Birds. If you follow me on Instagram, you get to see a couple more as well. I'm gonna pull one out right here. I got even Rick and Morty.
Hey,
That's a good,
Mhm.
And I'm gonna sprinkle some more throughout the episode.
Okay.
Dope.
I would go do
Dopeness.
that. I was born and raised in Atlanta. If y'all,
All right.
So
Goddamn
I know
native.
y'all. Yeah, born and raised. I see the change. I've always thought about moving, but like the city is growing, so I might be here for a minute. But born and raised.
Right. Okay.
Word.
Look, my man. Hey, look, just really quick. I keep telling this fool he needs to like see if he got a Guinness Book of World Records.
I'm working on
with
that.
these Uno cards.
Oh no, I'm working on that. I walked into Barnes and Nobles and I took some pictures and got some information. So that's coming up. I might be in the next year book or the one before that one. So
He was posted on that. We'll make sure we share about it.
Yes.
So before we get started, gentlemen, we know we got these 3 principles: being forthright, vulnerable, and honest. And so since last week, if you had any situation in your life that you were able to exercise any of our principles.
Well, can I go first?
Go ahead.
All right. So listening to the last episode, I want to share a point where I was vulnerable. It was the episode about when y'all was doing drugs.
Okay, sure.
Yo, that nervous laugh.
So I've also tried salvia. Now that was a vulnerable time. I'm gonna share this one experience. And like Aaron said, it happens it's like 2 minutes, and I was with a couple of friends. I'm not going to name them. A couple of friends, and I remember in the background. There was this Usher song. It was Papers, and we tried it, and I don't know that beat. I can't listen to that beat today because it was in my mind, and it was like flowing, and like how you see the Microsoft screensavers when you play music back in the day. That's what it looked like when I closed my eyes and I couldn't open my eyes, and it was like really weird. So every time I hear that song, it brings me back to that. So that was something vulnerable. So I wanted to bring that out.
Thank God that showed in the last 2 minutes.
So which screensaver we talking about? The one with the snake pipes that run around, or the one where it's like the Pong Windows screen just bouncing off the edges?
When you play the music, it'd be the waves.
Yes. It almost looked like that like a lava lamp almost.
Almost in a way,
yeah. Or like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah. Okay.
Word.
My man taking it back.
That was some years ago before I even thought about collecting Uno. So
well I had a bit of an experience with how should I say? I guess it was a bit of vulnerability because I had COVID exposure. Didn't catch it though. A student of mine found out that she tested positive less than a week after I had been with her, and so like a few days after she was in my class was when she started showing symptoms, and then a couple days later is when she tested positive. And so I'm still kind of in the window because it's like day 10 since I've been around her. But contact tracing with the woman who runs the organization, because she was in rehearsal with her the day that she started showing symptoms, and so we were all like, kind of on edge about if anything is going on, how do we protect people, yada yada yada. And that was the reason why I'm even able to be here, because I was supposed to have a show, and we had to end up postponing the show because a couple of us were possibly exposed, and we didn't want to, put other people in danger.
Yeah.
And so, so here I am over here, like, I had to choreograph this whole 6-minute solo on myself that now I'm not gonna do. So, and work on all this other stuff. But it's fine, and I'm glad everybody is safe. To my knowledge, I'm still negative, and the teacher's still negative. The child is okay, and so there was that. It was that kind of like scary moment, but not really scary, because in real life, I was like, I'm sure I'm fine. But just making sure like I didn't put anybody else in danger and all of that.
Yeah. All right. A lot of vulnerability going on here.
Yeah.
Adam, what you got, dog?
So if you have anything.
So
Yeah.
I do. Actually, so earlier this week I had something I wanted to share, but I forgot it. But I thought of something else. So okay. So yesterday, and this moment is more so, it happened more so over time, but it kind of like came to a conclusion, I guess you could say, within this week. And this is what I have. So yesterday I had a job interview, whatever, and everything went well, and I got the job essentially. So that's great news.
Applause.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about that.
So yeah, so that's great. But the vulnerable time period, I guess, because it's not just a moment, it's like just months of feeling this way.
Right.
Where that comes in is like, as you guys know, I don't know, Marcus, you've listened to episodes, you probably know this. So so I got out of the military at this point 2 years ago, which is just crazy that it was that long ago.
Wow.
And I had all these plans. I had like a plan A, I had a plan B if that didn't work, and all that failed. Some of that was COVID related, some of it was actually, I would say probably both failures were kind of due to COVID, honestly. So I'm like, man, like, what am I gonna do? Like, and I was just trying to figure out, and I was feeling like this for months. And I was even telling Kirsten this yesterday after I did get the job. Like, there was a point where I was asking myself, okay, well, what if this doesn't work out? Then what do I do? And I was like, and honestly, I couldn't even answer the question. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I can't say working at Bozak. I just can't. That job was only supposed to. I was honestly only trying to work there for like 3 months, just to pay the bills for a few months and then leave.
Right.
A year and some change later, I'm still there. So I guess you could say that's my moment, because like for months I was like, I really need to upgrade my life right now, because like this it's not gonna work. So
right.
And this job opportunity that came honestly through my wife's aunt, because she actually works HR for this company, and like that's just like, it was huge, really. So like, I'm hoping within the next 3-4 months things are a lot better.
They blossom for you.
Yeah,
man. Congratulations, man. I'm happy for you.
Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. Wonderful to hear.
Cool. A-Dub, did you have anything?
I got a little something. I guess I'll go with the vulnerable thing. It was more so me experiencing it for someone else. So I'm driving home, driving up this road, Piedmont Road. It's a one-way road, maybe like 3 or 4 lanes. Couple blocks, I see kids skateboarding on the sidewalk to the left of me, and I'm in the left-hand lane. I'm pulling up, and luckily I see it ahead of time already. But this kid like falls, grabs his board, and he just like sits down, and I'm like blocks away now, but I can kind of see it as I'm pulling up, and we're going pretty fast because I'm mostly like people are expecting you to see them, like when you're driving, it's a bunch of fucking cars. It's a one way, everybody's going this one direction. You're on the sidewalk, like take care of your board. He sits down, sets his board next to him. So I'm thinking I can speed up a little bit more. The closer I get, he ends up like laying down or some shit. So really, I'm like, okay, maybe he's just chilling now, but he's fine. I don't mean to make it like that. The closer I get, his friends, at this point, I glanced over to his friend because they were doing, like, one of them was doing some kickflip or something. And I had to like, look, I was going to yell out, do a kickflip. And he like was doing it anyway. Going to be that annoying person who yells at do a kickflip or a tray flip or something. And they say, I forgot the dude's name, but like, bro, grab your board. And at this point, I'm already like, I'm maybe like 10, 15 feet from him, going at decent speed. So I actually look up. I look over to him who's like beyond them, and I had to come to like a screeching halt to not run over his board, and it just hits my tire. I'm talking about one of those like movie shits. Yeah, one of those movies, not movie shits, one of those movie scenes where the board like just hits my tire, and I stopped. I rolled the window down. I was like, bro, first, take care of your board. 2, I know exactly how that shit feels, and I'm not letting that happen to you today. You know, so it was a vulnerable moment for him, and just to see like the shock on his face. I don't know how much his board was, but I just know how it feels to have your shit run over, and then somebody just keep going and not give zero shits about it. Because y'all remember, y'all were there. We were skating in our normal spot, and that lady ran over my board and just looked at me and just kept going. We made eye contact. We locked eyes. And she was like, "Sorry." So all in all, I felt for the homie, but he was excited, man, and just to see like the shock on his face, because he like jumped up from, I guess, laying down. I don't know what he was doing, and his board was just like creeping in the road as I'm driving, and I had to come to like a screeching halt. So in the vulnerability that I felt for both of us, of knowing, of like, it took me back to that time, to that moment of sadness, and grief. When my board gets run over, and you're like in the zone. You're actually landing tricks and shit. You're feeling it, and then your board gets crushed, and you just got to go home and watch everybody else. So that's it happened literally 2 days ago. So
word. Well, I'm glad the dude is okay. And he'll be all right.
I am single.
Right. His board was not sacrificed to the skateboard gods. And so talking about being in the zone, right?
For sure.
You're sharing space with other people. You're even feeling the feelings that other people may feel. I'm gonna pose this to y'all. Marcus, are you a single man?
I am single.
Okay. You've been in relationships though. Okay, you've been in monogamous or what have you. You've been connected with a person. Okay. So if you have any long-standing relationship, Adam's married, Aaron is in a long-standing relationship, I'm in a long-standing relationship. And so if you're in those circumstances, are you supposed to fuck every single day?
See,
okay, like every day though.
See, I was thinking, no, I don't think so. Because sometimes, what if I don't want to fuck every day? You know, because sometimes it ain't about that. Sometimes, maybe you just want to chill and watch Bob's Burgers tonight instead of fucking,
But Marcus, remember, you only have 2 options, Marcus. Uno cards and pussy. So you only have 2 options here. You gotta remember. Those are 2 things.
We're like, I'm sorry, baby. It's Uno night. You already know this. It's Uno night. I gotta pull out this deck. But I don't think so. I don't think it calls every day.
Okay. I just want to point out the double entendre of pull out this deck.
I mean, but no, I don't think so. Okay. Maybe I want to say maybe 3 times a week, maybe 3 or 4, because you want to have, because sometimes you're tired, cooking, cleaning. You gotta save time for that as well. To spark it up. I feel like if you do it every day, then it's just going to be like,
boring.
Yeah,
true.
Just like I don't want to. It's just like we're doing it just to do it now instead of like, it's been a minute. Basically, like how you've been like. Well, not now because of COVID, but just say, or if you go and work all day, then you come home like that. Babe, I miss you. That always got to lead to sex. Like I said, boring.
Bro, you said you gotta leave time for dishes and other things. I'm like, bro, you doing marathons? You don't normally have time to do laundry?
No, that's laundry. See, laundry day. I got a laundry day. We're not having sex on laundry. I'm just playing. But I don't think it's an every single day thing. That's just my opinion.
That's real. Now, I think there's circumstances to jump in where, do you live with your partner? Is it just y'all? Do you have kids? There's all these contributions that can go in there. None of which apply to me. I'm just trying to be empathetic toward those situations.
So
What's up?
So maybe if they don't live with, we don't live with each other, maybe every time we see each other, there's a possibility that we're gonna have sex. Maybe that.
Very
Not
good
here's
point.
the thing. And let's say you see your partner for 3-4 days a week, and you're talking about having sex 3-4 times a week would be that ideal situation. That would still be considered every single day because every single day that is possible for you. But here's the thing that I feel like isn't applicable enough to enough people.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy does not have to equal penetrative sex.
Exactly.
100%.
And a lot of times that gets taken for granted inside of intimacy doesn't necessarily replace penetrative sex, but it can compensate in some situations. And so that could be, some kind of sexual context of maybe we ain't fucking, maybe you just going, moisturize my beard a little bit. Maybe it's a thing of I'm gonna pull out the floggers and we're gonna have ourselves a flogging session. Whack, 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 whack.
Pull out the deck. Pull out the deck.
Oh, you finna get this Dwight Schrute today, man.
And so that in my opinion anyway, as often as I can fuck, I'm going to try to. But sometimes, me and my dick have different opinions about what should be happening in this situation. And you gotta go, okay, what can I do to still make sure that, you still feel loved, appreciated, sought after, desired, and all of that kind of stuff. And so I can't say no, because if I could fuck every day, I probably would. I'm just gonna be real about that.
You think you have that energy every single day?
I'm not saying I do. I'm saying if I could.
If I
could, I would. But I know more often than not I don't. And so I've had to become better about it because I don't have a concept of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll look up tomorrow and, she may be like, hey, baby, we had sex, once this month. And I'm like, shit, could have sworn we just did that yesterday. Okay, let me get this together.
That means you're just putting your all into it. You're just putting when you do it, you put your all into it.
and that's I every time, like there's no lackadaisical dick over here, but
like a washing machine, by the way, like a washing.
I was gonna say that.
I couldn't help it. I had to use the Lupe line.
But yeah, that's what it is over here. That's a growing point for me, is making sure that I am engaging that space as often as possible to know that she feels as desired as she is, and yada yada yada. So yeah, how about y'all, A-Dub, AJ?
Well, we definitely do not have sex every day. I think a lot of it for us, or at least for me anyway, is I use the energy in other ways sometimes. Like it might be like creatively, like I think a lot of that extra energy that I would use having sex might go to, creating something. Like, whether it's doodling, whether it's sewing, whatever, I kind of can see a lot of that energy going one way or the other. And it's just a matter of, I guess, being in the mood, feeling it, But I do agree with you, though. I actually do think I could have sex every day. Something would fall to the wayside, maybe. Like maybe I just wouldn't have the energy to do other things, like go for a 2-hour bike ride, like I try to do every day if I did. So, but nah, you definitely don't have to. I mean, that I feel like that's the answer you're going to get across the board from most people. Probably would say you don't have to. Like there shouldn't be. Hopefully, there's not expectations in a lot of people's relationships where you're fucking every day, yo. Damn,
right.
that's
That's
wild.
Energizer Bunny.
Without saying too much and putting her too much on blast, I do think my girl could too. I mean, I don't think she would be hating. I don't think she would be hating it. I don't think she'd hate me. Sometimes I'd be like, damn.
I mean, because it's that weird point where you're like, in real life, I have the desire to do it every day. I just don't know that I can every day.
Now, when you
some
say you have a
point, it's
desire, are you
Mhm.
saying like in your mind you can see it, like you have that like bodily desire, like, oh, I would definitely want to, or is it like, okay, you see yourself thinking about it every
I have the
day?
mental desire.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Because again, my body and my mind ain't always on the same accord.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I looked up some facts here. It says in 2018, the survey says they asked 660 married couples to take this survey, and only 5% of them had sex 4 or more times per week. 25% of them had sex once a week. Like 19 had sex 2 or 3 times per month. So that doesn't seem like a whole.
What's the
like,
age demographic of this poll?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. It might be varied. So I also got this. Let's see. Americans in their 20s, whether partnered or not. This is a different one. Americans in their 20s, whether partnered or not, have sex about 80 times a year or more than once per week. In 2017, that's a study in 2017, and they says while they surveyed people growing up, like getting older, the number declined as they get older, which is understandable.
That's pretty typical.
Yeah.
But still,
AJ,
let's say 660 couples. Let's say it's just a big range in age demographics, or just in demographics and age. But 660 couples is a lot. I mean,
I agree, but I always really hope polls have the like diversity and age and cultural background, etc., which a lot of times isn't usually the case.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so, if you ask 660 couples in what's that, pretty much the state of Montana, and so that's not going to have the same effect as that's what is that, one block in New York of Brooklyn.
Yeah. True.
It's like one floor of apartments.
That's what I'm like.
True.
That's not. It's
true.
The experience in New York versus the experience in Maine is going to be very different as far as what their general libido may be, access to sexual interaction, etc.
Yeah, or even beliefs as far as sex.
Yeah,
I feel like they're having less sex in Utah versus Florida or something.
Right.
Just purely based off of religious beliefs.
Right.
As a culture.
As a culture,
too many buffalo to herd in Montana. You can't be having sex that much. You gotta.
You'd be surprised.
They might have sex the most because they have nothing else to do.
No, that's drugs. That's but okay. Adam, did you have any perspective on this?
Yeah. So all right. So for me, I stole this from Facebook, and it was like somebody asked this question, and I was reading the comments, and I was shocked to see how many people said yes. Like a lot of people believe this.
That you should, not that it wasn't a question like do they, it's should you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like that, and I just thought that was interesting. I don't know how old these people were, but I'm assuming younger than me. I mean, I'm 32. Well, we're all 32 almost. But anyway, I was just shocked. And for me, I was like, absolutely not. Because I just think about like what a day consists of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what everyone say, but for me, my day, like an average weekday for me is like waking up at 4:30 in the morning, then going to the gym, then going to work for 9 hours, then coming home. If it's Monday through Wednesday, I'm working on the podcast. I still haven't ate dinner yet. So it's like I'm trying to figure out how am I supposed to do this every day? It just doesn't, it doesn't seem logical to me. And even if you take some of that off, like say I'm not working out, say I don't go to the gym at 4:30 or waking up at 4:30, I say it's like, it's just, I don't see the time. I don't see like where people find this time at.
Well, that's where quickies came from. I think
that's true.
But here's the thing, and this may take us off subject a little bit. There was a poll, I want to say like maybe 2-3 years ago, where they asked like, I don't know, 100 women or something like that, 100 people, what their ideal length of a sexual of intercourse is for them. And I think they were just talking about penetrative sex and not talking about foreplay, not talking about anything else. And the average length of time for people was like, what was it? 0 to a minute is too short. A minute to 30 is typical. I'm sorry, a minute to 3 minutes is typical. 3 minutes to 8 minutes was like ideal. 8 minutes to 18 to 15 minutes was a good session. 15 to 30 was too long. 30 to an hour was ridiculous. And it was like, who the fuck is not fucking like this?
That's crazy.
Because I was like, yo, I like in my world that made no sense. Personally.
Wait. So which like
I've
met a lot of girls who said that a lot of time, like the long it just gets too like after like 15 minutes is just too long. Like, it begins to hurt them and blah blah blah. Shit, like there's more chance of it hurting and all of that.
And I was about to say something bad, horrible. So I'm gonna retract my thought. But drink some water
while we been right there.
Drink some water.
No. I mean, like everybody has their preferences, whatever. You know what I mean? And so I can't tell you how your vulva works. But it is a thing of, for me, and I that is probably a question I do ask any person that I'm engaging outside of my primary. Is like, yo, do you like one long session? Do you like a lot of little sessions? Because I know me, I don't have a lot of little sessions in me. We got this long haul, and if it's a good day, maybe a second round. But this long haul is gonna last.
The marathon continues.
Yeah. Yo, rest in peace, Nip. Rest in peace, Nip.
And so I'm like, I can primarily imagine that you want a 5 to 10 minute session because you feel like y'all gonna go a few times. Or is it just you want that 5 minutes, that 5-10 minute session, and you out this piece? And I'm not trying to pass a judgment. I'm just curious.
No, that's a good. I mean, you also got to ask, like, depending on, I guess it depends on who they're with, like how well that person knows them or how comfortable they are. You know, can they orgasm, let's say, in that 5 to 10 minutes, depending on. So like sometimes maybe some people will.
Man, you don't need no 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I can get you there like Ubers quick.
That Uber XL, I feel you. So I guess that's the factor for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, really, we all know this, but at the end of the day, everybody's different. So like, there's people that want to orgasm like 5 times. You know, there's people that some people can do 2 and they're out. It's not, you know. I'm speaking of women here. And it's like, I know as guys, we're less likely to just go round after round and just keep going. Like, I believe
not at 32.
Like, I think it's a lot less likely. I think, you know, once we get our one, it's kind of like, all right, well, see you in the morning. You know, that's just
I'm gonna cook those cheese eggs you were talking about earlier.
But
you still try to play Uno?
It is interesting because I know, like, there's this big story. It shouldn't have been a story, but it was. But there was, like, a while ago, it was like this thing that came out about Big Sean and what's her name?
Janae Aiko.
Yeah. So there was this big thing that was circling around talking about, like, at one time he gave her 9 orgasms at one point or whatever, like, in a row, and everybody was like, well, there was mixed. Some people were thrilled, other people was like, why would I want that type of situation?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was interesting because for me, I'm trying to imagine that as a man, at least. Like I said, women, they could do more, I guess. They could keep going. I guess.
Wait, they were saying that Sean busted 9 times, or
no,
she was about to climax 9 times.
She did. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: some women, you know, have easier access to orgasms, and you know, they can have many on many on many. We don't know how long the session was.
Yeah.
You know, Sean may be eating box like no other. Who knows? Like we don't really know.
Yeah.
What all he did.
In that case, if that's the case, Sean and I got a lot in common.
but no, that's true. That's true. Like, you know, this could have been an all-nighter. They could have been on the influence on ecstasy. Who knows?
Yeah, you know,
right.
Out on the yacht, you know.
Yeah. But for me, like, regardless of any of that, though, I'm just trying to like imagine 9 orgasms for myself. Like,
Yo, I got something for you, dog.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I can do 3.
Yeah.
That was bro.
I
was
like
the point.
2. I'm good at 2.
There was a point in my life where I was about to go to this woofing farm.
Now explain woofing just in case people don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's an acronym. It stands for Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. It originally started out trying to teach healthier lifestyles, like living on the land, and in a way that went with nature, not against it.
Okay.
You know, so they would go around and like teach people healthier eating habits, how to grow your own food, be more sustainable in that way.
Okay.
Now they eventually turned into something a little different. So, and this is actually a good example of that. They have a woofing farm, but they also have you helping in other ways. Like one of the main ways this place, I can't quite remember the name, they make a lot of their money is by teaching married couples, I guess, like about intimacy and orgasms, but specifically more so primarily geared towards the female orgasm. And we had a long talk about that. And I found out, this is what I was told. And I was like, yo, are you bullshitting? And she was like, no, for real. That some of those women were having 3-hour orgasms. Just one.
Yeah.
3-hour orgasms. I didn't know 3 hours. Now I knew I was gonna say earlier, a lot of this also could depend on if you have one incredibly full body, intense, all immersive orgasm, then maybe you don't need 9.
Right.
Because you're going through that bodily energy and blah 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 in a quicker way. But I didn't know 3 hours. And I remember when I first met Nat and told her that I didn't end up going to that place, she was like, what the, like, you could have, you mean to tell me you could have facilitated that? and you skipped out on it? But that was like new to me though. Yeah. So that definitely plays a point.
I when I
like
hear
3
people,
long hours, like that's a long time.
3 hours is ridiculous. But I'm not saying that it's untrue, but I do know that there's a long history of, for lack of better terms, and it's gonna sound disrespectful, crunchy ass environments that go, yoga retreats or people who live out in rural areas or secluded spaces that are like, oh yeah, this is how you can, bring her to the state of euphoria.
Yeah. And, I should add, this place was definitely crunchy, but it wasn't like it wasn't spiritual based at all. It was like just straight. You guys need to have better sex lives. We have certain techniques, blah, blah, blah.
And that's real. But even with techniques aren't, techniques in this particular kind of field are useful information, but they're not concrete because every person is so different. And especially because orgasms are so mental to become physical that it don't matter how good of a technician you may be if that person is not vulnerable to that situation. What's up, man?
I think it's funny that
the technician.
I never thought of a person performing sex as a technician, but it's kind of genius when you think about it.
Yeah. And it was crazy. They actually showed me They showed me like a little clip of like an example, and it wasn't I wasn't on that Skype for 3 hours or nothing, but it was just like and he was just using his hands, and like they had like people. It was like they had like an audience watching. Okay, I'm gonna do this now. Okay, and now I'm gonna bring my hands over here and do this now. Right. It's just a funny situation, man.
Word, and that's real. Sometimes, I think that it's definitely possible to be in an orgasmic state for that long. I've definitely had partners who have orgasmic tremors, and so ain't nothing even happened for a while, and they over And so it's that like aftershock effect that can happen, and that could be what they're recognizing as being in that orgasmic state for that long. As 2 hours ago was when all sexual action stopped happening, but you're still having tremors. All that's very possible. And so
I don't know all that, but well.
So speaking of tremors, and in the speaking of tremors, or the wake of actions, your partner murders somebody. You covering it up, or you going, you like, hey, 12, boom.
Man, for me, man, I guess it depends. Like, it depends. If it's an accident, I think I would be more likely to try to cover it up. Like, look.
So you're gonna be on some Queen and Slim shit. You gonna, go back and watch Breaking Bad so you remember how to melt a body without and remove the evidence.
I just feel like, man, I feel like I've seen so many, and I know this isn't a good reference, but I've seen so much movies and TV. It's like I feel like I could
murder somebody.
Oh, get away with it. I just do.
You know what you do?
I feel like I'm smart.
You know what you do? You bury somebody. You bury the body, like let's say 8 to 10 feet. And then you bury several dead animals
on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like several layers, like maybe at like 6 feet, and then maybe like 3 feet. So when the dogs see it, they sniff the animal and think it's all good.
So this is where we're gonna abuse the word allegedly.
Yes.
So that we don't have no one's like using this against us in some way. So allegedly.
Right. Yeah,
please.
Yo, sorry, Adam, for impeding on your
on
your time, man. Reclaim your time.
just like I was in when I listened to y'all.
So like, man, it's like I don't know. I guess it just depends, like if on the situation. But like, if she just went on a shooting spree and killed 5 people at Walmart, like, nah, she gotta get out of here.
you gotta go. She gotta go.
See, with me, it's just hard, trust. It just be trust. I've seen too much snap. I've seen too much. I almost got away with it, and it's like, even if we decide on going, how can I trust you from not missing? Because like, you gotta, if you say we gotta go on the run, that's automatically, especially if you kill somebody, we gotta go on the run. So it's like, how can I trust that, even myself, that I won't miss my family, that I won't call and check on no one? Because we basically gotta disappear off the face of the earth, especially just away from the United States. So it's just trust. It's just, I just gotta know from the bottom of my heart that I can trust this person, because it's always that one call. And now they track me, and now they following me, and now we in jail.
It's true, and you can't. I mean, at that point, you can't really use cards anymore.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Allegedly, a lot of this stuff got to happen. So it all falls on trust with me. I gotta really trust you, and so and like Adam said, if you going around Walmart just shooting up people, and then going down the street to Target and shooting at people, I can't help you. You might shoot me. I can't. But like you said, like an accident or like it's not just alleged. It's not justifiable to kill somebody, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it happens, then like, all right, then we got to figure out what we're gonna do.
So Marcus, I don't know if you've seen this, but I know we talked about Fargo on this show quite a few.
This is a spoiler alert. If you're planning on watching Fargo, skip ahead to the 46-minute, 31-second mark.
And I think about season 2, where homegirl ran over old dude, had her in her windshield, just drove home and continued her life like nothing happened. And how her husband came to her rescue, did all the cleanup, chopped up the body, did all the work of it. I can't blame him for doing that. I blame him for staying.
And why
I don't have to throw you under the bus, but I gotta really evaluate the fact that, one, because you drove home in this way and all of that kind of stuff, it's gonna be a little hard for me to go, I had nothing to do with this because I was aware of the body, and then so much time is gonna pass, I still look guilty in some way. Plus, we're all if both of us are black, they're not listening to me anyway.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so
and I'm
and
pretty
so-
sure she drove home with the body in the mirror, in the windshield.
That's what I'm saying. She drove home with the
Oh
body
my
in
God.
the windshield and just continued to cook dinner, wash up like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then he proceeded to do everything to clean up for this. And so, if you haven't seen Fargo season 2, spoiler alert, I guess.
It's
Whatever.
okay. It's on my
Ding
list
dong.
but it is that thing of I only blame him for still trying to one, think that they can live life fine, and two, stay with her, because I immediately would have gone, wait a minute. You didn't even tell me you did it. You just drove home and acted like nothing was wrong while the body is still there, while it's dripping into our garage.
Yeah.
I have to leave you now. I have to make sure that you can never find me, because clearly you're a sociopath.
Yeah.
And
then, I mean, just to make it worse.
Yeah.
She's about to leave him. And I'm gonna stop it there. She had the nerve to think about leaving him after he did all this shit. Yo, that bitch gotta go.
Yeah, I'm about to watch this. On the list. I'm watching Curb Your Enthusiasm right now. So after that.
I ain't mad at that. It's a great show. One of the greatest improv shows ever. But I think about scenarios like that even more than I think about like a Queen and Slim situation or something like that, because I'm like, ain't no relationship, ain't no love or sex good enough for me to not only put in my resources to cleaning all this shit up so that we both don't go to jail, but for me to think that we need to try to survive as a couple. The couple part of this is dead. I'm just trying to make sure that I can still live my life. And so
True.
I know that wasn't really an option, but that's the option I'm going for, because fuck rules. Where I'm like, I'm not turning her in. I may not turn her in unless circumstances, really pushing that way. But I'm also not like gonna try to help this relationship survive, because you want some wild shit. I gotta evaluate this shit. Now, if your life was in danger, you killed somebody, cool. We covered that shit up. Let's move on. Like we in here. That's fine.
I got you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you do some wild shit that led to murder, I gotta be out.
Yeah, I'm with you there, bro. The part about this that I struggle with also is like, you mentioned that she brought it home. The second you brought it home and I don't call somebody immediately, I'm already like implicated. I'm already implicated. So like at the second he came home and didn't call somebody, and then like let's say within the first hour they can say, well, you had this long and you still didn't reach out to anybody. You didn't call the cops, blah blah blah. So already he's like, all right, I gotta, at that point you gotta start cleaning some shit up or thinking about what the fuck you're gonna do next. And
not to mention the implicit bias that kind of comes with inside of those environments, or at least is what the way they drew it, where they're like, yeah, that's her car or whatever. But they're like, oh no, but she's, this sweet little white woman. She couldn't do anything like that. I think you did it and you're probably trying to blame her. And like, it's easy to kind of turn those tables when there's some like implicit bias on who's capable of what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Plus, like, I mean, especially from watching like shows and movies and shit, these motherfucking like the FBI and the FBI, the government, whatever, like they're gonna use whatever the fuck they can. They're gonna tell you whatever they can to get the information they need out of you. So they'll make it seem like your friends, your family done turned on you anyway, just to get the info they need.
That's true.
So it's just at that point, I'm going with Marcus also in regards to trust, because I don't know that I trust when shit really, really, really goes down and gets hard. How do I know you're not gonna crack? And then like Lion said, that shit was me, and because I didn't snitch the first hour or two when I first saw that shit, now it's like, what's my excuse really? I mean, I guess I have an alibi. I could say I was at such and such. I was obviously at work when this shit went down, but it will always be a level of like, man, if you did that shit in a particular moment of like panic or whatever, I get it. We all do. We all have those moments. But how do I know you won't do that shit again? You know? So, man, I might have to snitch. I might have to drop the pen. I might have to drop the pen on it. But like you said though, if it's like life or death and like somebody did some foul shit, she just had to protect herself. I'm ride or die.
Yeah,
I know.
With it. So it sounds like we're all civilized human beings here.
and the thing about it is, even in
depends.
oh, sorry, go ahead, Adam.
No, I'm just saying, like for me, it depends because I would do it. I would cover it up. It just depends on the circumstances. Like, can it be covered up? Like, you know, do I believe that?
True.
Where was it done? Was it in like a place where there's cameras? Did you hit somebody on like the back roads in Indiana? Or it's like, you know,
and how long can it be covered up is the question. How long can this ruse last? You know? Because like, I mean, I found out recently that like, let's say like Atlanta is one of the first or like the second, like one of the top cities with the most police cameras, at least in the streets and stuff. So I'm like, it's gonna be hard to get. Like, you got to be in the basement somewhere, you know?
Yeah. And if you're in Europe where they got CCTV, might as well not even try it.
Yeah. Just walk out like this. Yo, you know, my bad. Yo, you'll probably take us both.
I do be thinking about in this scenario where your life may be if your life is in danger and I got a text saying like it was a car. You ever get an emergency text that's not about a storm?
Yeah,
like Amber Alerts. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that's me too.
I just got an emergency text that that just gave a car description.
That's weird.
It's like black Toyota Camry, license plate. I'm like, what if they do?
that's how that's how Uber is unleashing their new vehicles.
Sorry, that was really weird.
Somebody's wife killed somebody and they're trying to cover it up.
They're on the run.
Yeah, yo, whatever you do not respond to that.
I always think about the scenario where if it is a situation of I'm trying to cover up a murder and all that kind of stuff, and I really do go, do I know enough? Do I really know enough to get away with this? Because you never want to be that police story that's like, yeah, man, this dude just he kind of just poured soapy water all over the bloodstains and thought that was gonna cover it up. And it's like, you couldn't use bleach, fucking dumbass. Like I feel like I may make a decision that would be that stupid or irresponsible, thinking that it's like, oh yeah, like forgetting, I don't know, like that black light doesn't exist. And all that kind of stuff. You ever had those kind of trepidations toward putting yourself in one of these situations? Because I'm not that arrogant to think like, oh yeah, if it was me, I'd have did this. Like, no,
that shit. Yeah, I don't, man. All that shit makes me cringe sometimes when folks say I would have done this. I'm like, man, you don't know what the fuck you would have done.
I just know if I was there, my blood gonna be there some way because I'm clumsy. I'm gonna scratch myself.
Your hair follicles, your
skin.
Scratch
myself on the wall before I leave. And take my blood
your skin cells. Yeah, dog.
Yeah,
man. It's those fucking dogs can find damage or anything in the
actually, I've heard
crime scene investigation.
I heard that dogs aren't that reliable. Actually,
it depends on the situation because you can use pepper and it'll distract them. So that's the thing. Carry some pepper. Carry some pepper.
Okay.
So for me, I actually think about stuff like this all the time. And Kirsten will confirm that. I always think about like how I could get away with something. Like, man, I would do this, I would do that. Not just murder, just anything. Like if I was just robbing the bank or something. Now, robbing the bank might be hard in 2021, but it's impossible. I feel like. But no, for me, I feel like if I ever was put in that situation, just because of the way I think, I'm not saying I wouldn't get caught or anything, but I would think I could not get caught, and maybe that would be my downfall.
I got you. But you also probably be more creative in that way. You probably
like
probably last longer. You know,
yeah. Like for me, like for example, like if there were like a blood, like somebody was murdered in my house or whatever. Like okay, well, not only am I gonna clean this like crazy, we're getting new carpet, we're getting the subflooring that's getting taken out, everything. Like it's like there's no room for like error and at this point. Like I'm gonna take off a month from work and we're gonna get this right. Like it's gonna be the whole
Yeah.
And see-
And you pay
and then
cash.
even-
You pay cash for all that.
And then that's what I'm saying. Even in those scenarios, you go like you got the paper trail of all this work that was just done. If you have any pictures in your home or any pictures digitally of you in your home and it looks completely different, then they can go like, how long ago did they do all these internal renovations and like
it's true.
like
Wow,
that's-
so
that's
such and
just-
such was
that's-
missing, and
that's
they
just
decided
speculation,
to.
though.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's like
true. True.
that's just speculation. Like you can't prove anything. Like hey,
Y'all
maybe-
ain't got shit on me.
like now if there's that and then they also have some bit of evidence, then you're kind of screwed. But if they can only speculate, that's all
there's
they
still a
got.
shadow of a doubt.
Yep.
That's true.
There's a
Good
show
point.
there's a show on Netflix called Criminal United Kingdom.
Okay.
And the whole show is them interrogating people. That's the whole episode takes place in the interrogation room, which seems like it wouldn't be good, but it's actually really interesting because that's exactly what it sounds like. It's just the cops interrogating these people doing these crimes. Sometimes it's murder, sometimes it's something else, whatever. But it's really good because I feel like the writers take you on like this journey of like making you think one way and then they'll flip it. It's like, this is real like psychological. And there's this episode. My favorite episode is the guy from Game of Thrones. I think his name was like Kit. Was it like Kit?
Kit Carrington.
Yeah. So there's an episode where he's the suspect, whatever.
Mm.
So that kind of tells you they hire some big timers for this for this series. But
So they hiring actors to do reenactments or what?
No, it's the cases are fake. It's all fiction.
Oh, okay, it's fictional. Okay, got you.
It's fictional. But yeah. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but pretty much his episode was he was accused of a rape, and it's just it was, to me, it was a great episode, and like kind of how things are, kind of how cases happen today. It's like, did he do it? Did he not do it? And it's like, because I know there's this big statement that people say where it's like trust women, or not trust women, but
believe all women.
Yeah, believe women. And it's like, yes, absolutely. But there still needs to be an investigation. Like what I'm saying, like if somebody comes up to me and say, I was shot 17 times, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll believe you, but let's treat this like every other case, though. I feel like you can't just blindly like,
I agree
okay,
with you.
well, she said it happened, so
Wholeheartedly believe you, bro. But at the same time, get ready for some victim blaming card.
so like, yeah,
Get
so
ready for the victim blaming card if you ask for that shit.
Well, what? Explain that, Aaron.
Oh, because I've said exactly what Adam said, and I've been called that. That's why. What I'm saying is I've been called a victim blamer. When I was just saying I'm not distrusting you. I'm saying let's still go to the procedure of whatever to get if let's say it did happen and you want to prove this shit, then let's get the evidence we need to get this motherfucker in trouble. To like, because that's the way the legal system works.
Yeah. I mean, so, I hesitate with that whole that's the way the legal system works because laws, laws are often biased and bigoted.
True. But like on that, like I say that not specific to any one person. I'm talking about just in general, the idea of how the law.
Oh, I'm speaking generally.
Bro, even socially, just I don't think it's a problem to ask another question. Like once someone says something, I agree, I believe you. but I don't think it's a problem to ask questions. Also, I don't think that's a terrible thing. But if you say anything other than let me console you, let me blah 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 in the moment, then I'm not saying sometimes, I'm telling you from my experience.
Of course,
I've been called a victim blamer. That's just, I mean, obviously that's not everybody. I'm speaking just from like specific experiences. But
and I guess I'm because I'm in the middle ground betwixt y'all, where I'm like the believe women because they haven't been heard for a long time. I get the concept of that. Go through protocols and procedures so that you can present the evidence that's necessary. I get that. But I think there is a thing of a lot of times when the investigation happens, based on whatever the protocols have been developed so far, are not enough to actually provide what's necessary to indict whoever the offender allegedly was or is.
So what I'm saying is, what do you do then?
Well, that becomes a systemic problem. It's one of those things where, like, if someone gets accused of sexual assault, and it's after a certain time period, so the woman doesn't have whoever the person was, it doesn't even have to be a woman. The person doesn't necessarily have anything bodily damage anymore. They only have this situation, so they don't have any proof, they don't have any video and all that kind of stuff. That in that situation, are there enough protocols and procedures to actually pursue that person? Or now you're just looking at that person like, well, you should have came sooner and all that kind of stuff, and it becomes a victim blamer because it makes it about them as opposed to what they went through.
That part I agree with. That's the challenge there, because a lot of the, let's say, people, women, and everybody, a lot of the people don't necessarily feel comfortable. They're still going through the experience in their mind of like what just happened. So they don't typically say it immediately because they're still like going through the trauma of it. So you're right. By the time they do say it later on, people often say it's too late. I've even said like, man, why couldn't they have just spoken up like sooner so they could have bypassed this challenge here that they have now with the bodily fluids missing and whatnot. And a lot of times the schools, let's say a lot of this stuff happens in schools, like universities, and they definitely don't want to fuck up their own bottom line. Like they don't want to taint their reputation for sure. So it just makes it like a whole fucking issue.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, women being attacked on college campuses, teachers that may abuse power, or even a situation, if it's not a heteronormative situation of a sexual assault, where it's a man being raped by another man, or a trans person suffering from some kind of sexual assault. Now you got to deal with whatever that police force's implicit bias toward all of that may jump in there too. Like there's so many factors in there.
Yeah, I mean that's because people aren't perfect, because no one is. That's because people, everybody has their own ego and their shit. So,
and this isn't necessarily about you and the victim blaming thing.
This is
the nuance of this thing becomes so broad, and there's not enough. There's not enough technology, protocols and procedures that actually come from tending to this kind of situation, that we can't go, let's trust the law to do what the laws alleging that they do, because they've proven too often that they are inept.
Oh, for sure. I mean, because like what'd you say in the first season? People suck.
Every day. I almost said it when you were like, people aren't perfect, and I'm like, no, people suck.
Because I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I was talking to Nat the other day about this shit. We were watching some show, and like it just got me thinking, like, man, it's so crazy. Like I just wonder how often the cops will, like, because we see some of it already, but like when you have the power to abuse such a big, how often they abuse the law to the point where we don't actually even know, like, the stuff that's behind the scenes. Just it's just wild. So you have all that shit going on too. How do you know it's not going to happen in this case? They could just hide the evidence or what have you. So it's, of course, these are the issues that we have to work around. But some people do get fairly. Some people do get justice for these cases. So I want to know, how did they get? Was it just that the people were decent in that moment, and they had the evidence that they went through the legal system and they actually did it fairly and justice was given properly in this one specific moment, or what? Because some people do get their just due. Some people do get justice for these. So what's the difference between in those situations and other ones? Some people must have been doing things fairly. Like
I
you
feel
hope,
that,
you know,
or maybe they just had a stronger case. I mean,
maybe a stronger case too.
But I need to say this because I don't want people to think I am victim blaming, because I'm absolutely not. And typically when these things do blow up, I'm definitely on the woman's side. It's not like I'm like, I don't know. Like there's this thing going on with Deshaun Watson, where he's been accused.
I'm assuming that's a football player.
Yeah. So
okay.
he's been accused not of rape, but of just sexual assault, of different varieties. And like apparently it's like the reports are that he'll call a massage. You know how they have massage therapists that travel, whatever. So he'll have somebody like that, come to wherever and do the massage, and he'll do things like the biggest one is like there's a woman that's accusing him of him forcing her to give him head, essentially. And there's other ones that are saying like he's had women like touch him in places and stuff like that, and of course it's like when so many people come out, it's like it's hard to ignore that. It's like if it was one person from 35 years ago, obviously he's not even that old, but if one person comes out, it's like I don't know, it's kind of in the air. But when this many people comes out against one person, it's kind of hard to believe that they didn't do it or
do something.
Yeah. And it's like, and I'm not actually making my point because that wasn't even the point I was making. I need to say this though. It's like I'm not victim blaming, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't believe women, because we should. I think if somebody comes into a police station and they say this happened, I don't think the response should be that didn't happen. That should not be the response.
Yeah.
And I need to make that clear. But what I do want to say, I just think that police officers, even though I don't mess with them like that, I think they are put in a terribly hard situation especially with sexual assault cases, because sexual assault doesn't have to be rape. It can be this man groped me. It's like, how do you? Yeah, it's like that's an impossible thing to prove unless there's eyewitnesses or the guy just admits that he did it. And it's like sexual assault is one of the crimes. It's one of the few crimes where it's one of the few crimes that leaves evidence, like leaves a trace. Like if I go and rob a bank, it's like, okay, there's money missing. If I go and kill somebody, this person's no longer breathing. There's most crimes leaves a trail, it leaves something. And
right.
Sexual assault doesn't necessarily leave that. It's in that person's head, that trauma. Of course, if the person is raped, then that can leave, evidence.
Right, some evidence.
It's just like, I just want to say that it's a very unfortunate thing that happens every day. I'm assuming in all parts of the world. And it's just like, it seems like an impossible situation. And
yeah, man.
I sympathize with people that go through that. That's what I'm gonna say.
It does, bro. Let me clear that up too, just to be sure that I am. Although I've been called a victim blamer, it's not that I am. This for all of our female followers out there, our wonderful women who birthed us all. I just want to be clear on that too. I was only saying there is so much new, like one of the reasons, like Adam said, why it's so tough is because there's so much nuance to really any case. So, and they have to go through the law typically. Like it's hard to get like beyond the shadow of a doubt kind of thing. And amidst all that corruption. So I was just saying, I felt before that if I asked after I said, oh damn, like after you show your sympathy for somebody and what they just dealt with, wow, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I've also asked other questions, and I realized once I got out of the okay, I'm feeling for you, I'm connecting with you. If I ask anything else, it's like, wait a minute, now you just agree with me, and we just be in this moment together. You just need to like sit and hear and listen, as opposed to something else. And that is how, and that's how I got called the victim blamer. Well, it's like at the same time, it's like, well, okay, I'm learning, I'm understanding here. I'm learning.
I don't mean to continue the subject because I do think we should move on, but I can't help but pose the question in those situations where you were posing questions to ask what was the question, because a lot of times it can be a thing of the question can feel innocent, but the question leads to a certain thought, and that may be what they took as victim blaming. Because if you're asking like, very general thing, if someone's like, I got attacked in a dark alley, and you're like, well, why would you walk down the dark alley? You're like, well, why are you asking me why I made the decision to walk down like this? Okay, hold on. Okay, wait. So that's what I'm saying. Like if the question itself could have been the issue, not you asking the question.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
And so
for sure, absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah. But moving on.
I'm about to do some shaking.
So Marcus, you were real quiet that whole time. You good?
Yes. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I was focused. I'm listening.
And so that took a turn that wasn't expected, but it's all a part of the conversation.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what we're here for.
Hey Marcus, what is the excuse we use every time? It's because we're what?
Vulnerable, honest, and off. What is the other one?
And informal. We're informal.
There you go.
Marcus,
I'm just making sure you listen. I'm just making sure you listen.
I'm here. I promise.
Marcus, before we move on to our last subject, which is our audience submission, give us some more insight into these Uno cards.
All right, so what made me start collecting them was I want to say about 5-6 years ago. It was originally me and my ex. What we used to do is we used to collect Uno cards, and we used to also go to IHOP. So that we'll go to a new IHOP with a new deck. We'll play there. But then, we didn't work out, and I was like, well, I'm going to still continue collecting Uno cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say back then, I would say we didn't even have more than 10. So like, again, I'm about down to 80. So I want to show another deck since I'm here right now. I have this special deck.
Olympic one.
That's your Olympics?
Yeah. I have 2 of these because, of course, I can't open up the other one
of them,
because, there's going to be
collector's item.
Yeah.
Especially since it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. If I'm going to scoot my laptop over, all this, well, if you can see, all those are filled with Uno cards, all 3.
Wow.
Okay.
Gotta, and then it's going even crazier because sometimes it's not even just cards because we got Uno dice.
Yo, my man, and a quick if you could answer this briefly,
go ahead.
Where is the craziest place you've seen an Uno deck before and you got it? You were like, oh, I didn't expect to get this here, or like the gift where somebody got it from somewhere crazy.
All right, so I have 2. So there's this random little store that just opened up near Ansley Mall. I don't remember the name of it. I just happened to walk in, and they were selling games and stuff. And I walked in, and usually the places that sell games doesn't have Uno cards for some odd reason. Oh, I'm sorry. They don't have Uno cards. So I just happened to walk in. I was like, do you have Uno cards? She was like, yeah, we have the Harry Potter deck. And I was like, oh, well, let me get 2 of those. And then I have a couple of decks from Japan. So
nice. Okay.
Now these Japan decks, what are they like based on?
Well, Pocket Monsters and Dragon Ball Z. So I haven't opened those at all. And then with the Pocket Monsters, it still has a little sticker with the yen, the money, how much it costs and everything. So not opening those yet neither. So, but some I do play with. So once COVID let up and we can all breathe again, then I'll start inviting people over and we can play together.
Now, nice. if somebody bends one of your cards, do you smack the shit out of them?
See, I get a little upset, but usually they be like, "My bad, I'm sorry, I'll buy you another deck." It's usually like they usually buy it immediately. I did have one
Yo, you
incident on
make
my
sure
birthday.
you make sure
Like,
they buy
here's
you a
the
new
link.
fucking deck right
Get my
now,
shit.
son.
Please,
You have 24
Tomorrow.
hours.
I've had one incident on my birthday that it made me realize, like, all right, this is a collection that I really care about. And I got to make sure I take care of it. A couple of birthdays ago, I had Giant Uno out. I was letting everybody use it, and I found not just one, a couple of ripped cards. Now it was my only Giant Uno deck. I was really upset. No one would come. No one would fess up to it, but I had someone at the party who was like, you know what? I'll just buy you one, and they brought me another one. So I haven't opened
That's
that one up
love.
at all. Yeah,
Mm.
so people are
Right.
here for it, but it was just like, all right, now I got to realize I got to have certain decks for certain people, when they come
Right.
over. But yeah,
No
Yeah.
doubt, no doubt.
I got a question for you. Do you think that those rip cards was that like you think that was malicious? Like somebody like they know that
That means something to you.
yeah.
well, I hope not. I just take it as an accident, but no one want to confess of the accident because they know how much I care about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I took it that way. So I hope no one's going around ripping up cards they don't like me. Talk to me. We could get through this over Uno game. But no, I really think because they're giant. No, they're all weird. They're really huge. I would take them out, but they're under some other decks. But they're really huge, so I can understand. Like, oh man, they don't know, and it was ripped. So, but I hope
Gotcha.
not.
Okay.
You're a good man.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would have
Try
like,
to
nah,
be.
one of y'all did this on purpose. So
Yeah. I got a little turned at the party, but then someone was like, I just calm down. I got you. So
Yo, my man just sent the cash out request to everybody at the party. If somebody paying for this shit.
someone tell me the party's over. But I really enjoy the support and love that people give me, or this like even the surprise looks of like, what do you do? I collect Uno cards, and it's like, oh, they have different Uno cards. Well, yeah, they like again the Uno dice. Like, who would have thought of that? Like, there was even like a Jenga type Uno. It's like Uno Stacko, where if you pull a there's like you pull a draw two, you put it on the top. The next person has to draw two of that color out the Stacko deck. So it get a little crazy like that. Yeah, Uno out here crazy.
So of course I have to ask, and maybe I should wait till later, but I'm just going ahead and do it now.
Mhm.
You play stacks or no?
I was gonna ask.
So I've played draw twos on draw twos and draw fours on draw fours, but we can't put draw twos on draw fours. It don't make sense. You feel me?
Okay, but I'm saying like also because every black family got different Uno
yes.
rules. If I got a 2, 3, 4, can I just slap all three down, or I gotta put them down one by one?
You could do, if you have 3 5s or 5 3s, you can put those down, but we don't do the train. I don't do train. We can't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down at once. And the only reason I say that is because I remember playing this once, and we started. I dealt. So if the next person on the left go, they dropped their whole deck down, Uno out. The game just started. the game just started. I don't like that. I like, I could understand it for just you have 7 3s in your hand. Like, okay, that's just luck. But it's just like crazy that, they drop all their deck. Just first round over with.
Mhm.
And then, the second person drop half their deck down. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. I don't like it like that. But I do bend it a little bit. Like, you have multiple numbers, you could drop it down. You could change the color that way,
Yeah.
I got 3, I don't have any blues, but I got this one blue of 3. I could like squeeze that in there and change it to red. Bow.
Okay, but you on that one by one. You can't just throw like 5 cards down at the same time.
You can throw 5 cards down, but they got to be the same number. You feel me?
Okay, I just you the connoisseur. I want to know your world.
Of course. Yeah, I accept everything but trade. You know what I'm saying? You can't put all them numbers out at not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, I play like this as well. Some people play. You draw a card. If you don't have it, you got to keep drawing.
Yeah.
I don't play that way. You draw a card. You can put it down. If not, next person go.
Yeah, I like that's the civil way. It's like you really
Yeah.
don't grab 50 cards.
Yeah, I can't. It's only 112 cards here. You can't get all of them.
Like
that's where you flip them. You got to
Is that-
take the sack, you flip them, put them back over there. We got.
But that's why we got Uno Flip now, because there's Uno Flip. I don't know if y'all seen those. There's two-sided cards. Let me see.
Shit. Okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Well, that's buried too. That wasn't part of my collection I was going to show y'all today. But there's two-sided cards. There's a light side where it's like, all right, we civil, draw one, maybe a skip, and then there's the dark side where it's draw 5, and skip everybody. So
You know what? I just thought of a cool idea for a establishment, like an adult. You know how there's all these adult
beer cages and stuff.
Yeah, popping up like that. Like recently, I saw on Instagram. There's a thing in Chicago. It's a bar, but with mini golf or putt golf, something like that. And I comment. I was like, golf clubs and alcohol. Somebody believes in mankind way too much. But the statement I was going to make was like, it would be cool if, something like this might exist, but if someone made a bar lounge type thing, and they had games, but they had like all the different versions. So like obviously Uno cards, obviously you have 80 decks. I know with Monopoly they have different, Monopoly like Star Wars and etc. It would be cool if there was a place that had like all of these different, and people could just come in there and play games and drink. That'd be cool.
Nah, Adam, you just gave someone $1 million idea. That was business.
We have something.
Yeah.
We have a couple of places similar. We have a couple of places in Atlanta that's similar like that. We have this place called Controller Rise, where there's like different arcade like games, and you also can drink there as well. And then there's another one I think it's called Battle and Brew that's in Roswell, and they have like different type of games as well. Like you can play board games there and drink and stuff like that as well. So we have it's not like how you explained it, because I like how you said like I want to play Fortnite Monopoly while they want to play Harry Potter Monopoly. They both have it. It's not like that, but it's something similar. But I do like your idea. To the point, like someone can like come into there and like I'm basically a Uno store. And it's like I want to play Batman versus Superman. That these are real decks, by the way, y'all.
No,
So,
yeah, I'm sure they are.
So,
okay, cool. So today's listener submission comes from Chris. Shout out to you, bro.
Hey, Chris,
bro.
The question is, what is one thing you hope to see happen this year, maybe to you or someone you care about, or in the world? What is one thing you hope to see happen this year?
I want to go first. Go
ahead, Marcus.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to take these masks off.
That ain't happening this year.
It's not. Do you see? You said hope. That's my hope.
In Texas and Florida.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean, everywhere.
Everybody's piled up in Texas and Florida.
And in countries where they
responsible. Successfully, we can take the mask off. It ain't, we won't have to worry about a quote unquote third wave or anything like that. We can kind of go back to normal, more of an optional thing in a way. Like, it's not mandated. We can actually like do things again. I'm not, for sure want to blow on birthday cake again, because that's not safe. But just
I always thought that was weird.
I was like, it wasn't okay back then.
So it's not okay now. But I do miss like going to the arcade and doing things that we can do in a group without wearing the mask and fear for our lives. Again, that's just me hoping. And then a more serious one, I hope I can get past 100 decks by the end of the year. I haven't brought any new. Well, I brought the new series that I've been posting on Instagram, but I haven't brought any like personal new decks for me yet this year. So my goal is to get some more so I can share more. But I post every Friday, and it's only 52 Fridays in the year, so I got some time.
Word. So on Thursdays, you catch these new episodes of InforMILLy Honest. On Fridays, you go over to the Uno Connoisseur and you check out this masterful content.
Exactly, please.
And I might pop up in one of those too.
Oh, of course.
Come on.
Once we open up again, I would like to do more things. If we go on my page, I have a couple of videos, but I like to go out. I had a couple of ideals. I'm not going to share yet, but I have a couple of ideals. I want, so I can interact with people as well. So it just won't be me with Uno cards, because Uno cards are family/friend gathering, and I want to bring that together.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
One thing I do hope. I miss socializing, so I'm with you on that, Marcus. Where I'm like I hope to feel what it's like to be in a good party environment again. I hope everyone who started a business amidst COVID skyrockets in their success because they took a chance by opening a business in a time where a lot of businesses are shutting down.
Yeah.
And I mean that a lot, especially for brick and mortar and in addition to internet businesses. And so those are probably my top two, is that I hope to be able to get all of my extroversion like back, because my introverted side has been very, very tended to, and I miss people, which I never thought I'd say. And yeah, we started a podcast in the middle of this, and so of course, selfishly, I'm like, who wants to come on and sponsor us, and so we can continue to prosper and grow. And anyone else who also started a business in the middle of, in the middle of the panorama.
That was good.
It was.
I ain't gonna beat that.
Ain't a competition.
I'm just joking, man. Let's see, man. I also hope that this podcast grows and we just get a chance to like reach more people, have more conversations, challenging and otherwise. I really hope that we can get other people on here that have different perspectives and kind of give those perspectives a chance to be heard. Like I feel like that's what we do. I like that about our podcast. Just like being open to hearing different perspectives. It just gives them a space to be heard. I really like that. So I hope we can continue with that. It would help if we got these sponsors as well. But for the world, man, it's probably the same thing. What I would hope for the world is that we find a way, like a more consistent way that works and shows, that has results on how to like handle the things we go through internally. And that's something that I've been working on myself. And I hope that we can find a way that's like mass produced, this idea of finding a way to get a decent handle in our inner lives.
So free therapy.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it,
because you said get a handle on. You said get a handle on life, work the stuff out. Make
inner world. But I'll try not to like get. I just use like a generic term like the inner world. But people have different ideas of what they mean. So I don't want to get too much into that, So I'm just going to use a generic term. Everybody has it has connotations already. So
okay,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
So tell us your connotation, because I don't have one. So please, audience, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
AJ.
All right. So for me, I'll be quick. So I'm gonna be selfish. For me, sort of selfish, because I'm gonna kind of piggyback on that. I hope the podcast grows and continues to grow, and because like for me, I'm got my hands on this thing, a lot, and I just see the progression. I see the potential, and I really believe that I feel like if we can just put it in front of enough people, I think that's in my opinion, that's all it needs. It's just that exposure. Because I said this on my Instagram, I think it's the best podcast that I listen to, and I know that's a very biased thing to say, but I mean I listen to a lot of professionals, I guess you could say. And it's like, yeah, I don't feel as move. And I know, like I said, it's very biased because I'm actually in this, but even the episodes that I haven't been in that I've listened to, it's like I just think it's good. Like I said, maybe I'm being biased, but I just hope the podcast continues to grow.
Man, I received that. Just so we clear, I received the shit out of that. Thank you, and I completely concur.
Yeah, that's one. Two, I kind of already mentioned it a little bit, like me finding another job or a different job, I should say. I'm probably gonna be moving to Illinois probably at end of summer. I'm thinking around that time frame.
Word.
So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that goes well.
You talking about the burb or into the city?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because I'll be working in the west suburb, so I'm not really sure.
Got you. So like Oak Park or
Lombard. You ever heard of that?
Lombard? Okay, yeah, I know of it.
Okay, so it'll probably be honestly cheaper to live in city, to be honest.
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, property taxes go up somewhat, but the cost of living out here is ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean that's just an avenue I have to explore when I get,
yeah,
whatever works.
definitely.
So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. And I hope that I get to see Khruangbin live, even though I'm not sure if that's gonna work or not, because they're touring again, so we'll see. Because a lot of outdoor festivals are that were canceled last year. They have their dates for this year. So we'll see. Like if I feel comfortable, like, is this a good idea? Is it not? I'll make that decision, but we'll see. That's it.
Dope. Cool. That wraps up today's episode. Thank you all for joining us for another one. Man, oh man, Marcus, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming.
And thank you for having me. It's surreal again. I'm here. I made it. We did a whole episode, y'all. A whole episode, y'all.
Yo, you know what? I want to kind of try something new, at least for this time, and see how it carries on with other guests.
Yes.
But before we officially wrap up and like give our final thoughts and whatnot, since Marcus, you are our guest of honor now, I want to leave you with one question. You said them earlier, or most of them earlier. Our principles of being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest in all caps. So I got a question for you, man, that I want to leave with you, and then hopefully it can be translates to all of our listeners as well. They can ask themselves the question: when you hear the phrase "to live an honest life," what comes to mind?
Doing everything right. I guess doing everything that I believe right. That's what comes to mind. As long as at the end of the day I do everything right. We have a smile on our face and everybody's moving. I feel like I'm living an honest life.
And there you have it. There you have it.
What? Now I got to follow up. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
When you say everything right, what qualifies as right for you?
Whatever in my mind was right. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's right's different. You know what I'm saying? So my honest life is, I think what I'm doing is right. It's right.
Okay.
That's
so you're trusting some internal value system or something, or some value system of your own that feels good for you.
I made it this far.
Yo, he made it this far. My man is followed by the verified Uno account. My man got 80. He got 80 joints under his belt right now already. All right, he made it this far.
Again, y'all, I'm Marcus. Again, if y'all want to follow me, it's the Uno Connoisseur on Instagram. I want to leave off one more deck. This is an interesting one. If y'all,
homie.
So I haven't opened it at all. I still have the plastic band around it. It's pretty cool. It even came with 4 extra cards.
Oh wow!
So, but
Don't open that one.
I'm not. But again, I'm glad y'all had me on here. I can't wait for the future episodes. Hopefully I can come on here again.
Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you all for joining us. By all means, it's always a pleasure to share. It's always a pleasure to converse. And anytime that you are connected out there, and actually, let me say this because I've been forgetting sometimes because we ain't mad informal around this motherfucker. If you know what I'm saying. If you want to write us in, please write us an email at informallyyhonestpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at informally honest, as well as Facebook informally honest podcast, and on Twitter at informally_HP. Right. If you are interested in sponsoring any of us, by all means, we're going to be approaching some people. We want to put forth anything that we can get behind. So Blue Chew, like, you know, we with you. If you a black owned dick business, then we could be there too. Right. If you got any hair products, if you got some jewelry you try to, like, let us know. We can get in there and make some agreements out.
Magic spoon.
Magic spoon. I miss cereal.
I want to try this.
Yeah. Bro, so you heard that from the Lupe and Royce?
Yes, Lupe and somebody else.
I be hearing people talk about Magic Spoon all the time.
If I want y'all to toss my name in there, can we do that? You know, just follow him, just random episode, follow the Uno Connoisseur. Can we do that?
Yes.
We'll get together. We'll get together.
Come on, follow the Uno Connoisseur. And like I said, I miss cereal, and I personally have beef with paying for $9 a box. And so, yeah, that's my only beef with Magic Spoon. It's great you ain't got none of the bullshit in it, but also $9 a box, and this ain't no family size box of cereal. That's 2 bowls of cereal. Y'all,
that's the problem.
For that. But
I figured it would be expensive.
We could delete this if we actually get this sponsorship. So any conversation you have, any connection you make, any people you engage, we ask that you please live by those 3 principles. We promise you won't regret it. I hope you can't see that I'm spitting up because my mouth is dry. Those 3 principles being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all. Isn't this when the music kick in?
Yes.
Without shedding a tear for my brother, I really want to try for my brother, 'cause I truly do feel for my brother.